everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Dana Download. I am your host, Dana Arschin Kraslow, and I'm so excited to have you with me here today. So I have a very interesting guest connected to me by a mutual contact. Her name is Lea Wolinetz. I'll read you a quick bio about her. She's the daughter of Holocaust survivors, a former administrator in the New York City public school system, and she served in a very interesting role for the POLIN Museum in Warsaw, Poland, which we'll get to. She now continues to dedicate her life to preserving the legacies of Jews in Poland and also to maintaining relationships with their descendants. And she's involved now with a special project called Ruta's Notebook. So we have so much to get to. Lea is joining us now via Zoom. Lea, thank you. And where are you joining us from today?
I'm in Rockland County, New York, Suffern.
Very nice. Looks like a beautiful day over there. So there's so much to get to. I guess let's first start with your family background. So you're the daughter of 2 Holocaust survivors, is that right?
Correct.
And tell me a little bit about each of their stories.
I'm also the only child, so that's an interesting piece always in my life to have two Holocaust families, and their stories. So my childhood was a happy one, believe it or not. I guess because I was pretty much shielded from what happened to them, but the stories were always there. So that was the beginning of my life always, and I guess it continues all this time till now. My father was from Warsaw. He came from a religious family. He lost his mom when he was 10 years old, no, actually 7, and he was sent by his evil stepmother to to Warsaw proper to get a job. So his life was pretty scary to begin with, and then of course the war broke out. He was already married and had a child. So his life began in a difficult fashion and continued until, of course, he survived. And his attitude was always about that everything is going to be up, Lila, because the worst thing already happened to me. And he did. He lost his wife, he lost his child. He was in many concentration camps and ended up in Buchenwald, which he was freed by General Patton and General Eisenhower. So, and then that was the beginning of his childhood and what happened to him until he was born in 1914. So he was 9 years older than my mom. Um, I'll tell you a little bit more about my mom now. My mom came from the town of Częstochowa, which is a very famous town in the Catholic world. It's known for the Black Madonna, who was an icon in that world. My mother went to private school. She was also the only daughter of Leah and Aaron Horowitz, who were I wouldn't say very wealthy, but very educated. My mother went to a private school. She was going to be a lawyer before the war broke out because everybody in her family was either a lawyer or a doctor or an engineer. And of course, that all ended when she was 16, when the Nazis moved into Częstochowa. She survived in the ghetto of Częstochowa, which was called Hasak Pelzera, and it was 5,000 people that left the war camp actually, and freed by the Russians. My father was, of course, freed by the Americans, and my mother by the Russians. My mother was freed January the 15th, 1945. My father was freed April 13th, 1945. Yeah, 46 actually, because I don't know if that date is right, but anyway, because the Russians got there first instead of the Americans, and the Americans came with all sorts of gifts and everything. The Russians gave them very little, and but the 5,000 people that left most of them were residents of Częstochowa.
Wow, both such fascinating stories and so different. How has being the child of 2 survivors shaped who you are today and what your life journey has been?
Well, I guess I don't know the answer to that question because that's what happened. I always knew what I was. In my younger years, I wasn't so interested in my background. I didn't want to be part of that. I wanted to go to Paris and I wanted to go to Rome and I wanted to do other things in my life. But as I got older, I realized that not only is it something I have to do, it's my obligation as a second generation. And I did many things towards that end, as I continue to do now. I'm all about making their experience and the experiences of the people that I never met and that I knew was some sort of validation in what happened to all of us. And I see that in my terms of being the executive director of the Częstochowa Jews, opening up a big website, going through the exhibit throughout the country, starting an adoption program which replaced the children of the Holocaust, 1.5 million children, being a teacher, being just doing those kinds of things always to make good things happen out of the bad. So am I changed? I don't know how it changed. It's just who I am. And that's who I learned to accept myself after a long time now. I have a birthday coming up, which is amazing. I mean, I was born in Germany after the war, obviously. And I came here when I was 6 months old. So that's been my life. It's hard to say how it's been affected. It's been very effective, but I choose to look at it in a very positive way.
Interesting. So tell us about the organization that you serve as executive director of, the Częstochowa Jews.
Częstochowa. It's a hard word. Polish is a hard language. It's a hard language. It's very difficult. And it's interesting because my mother did not speak Yiddish because she came from a rather assimilated home. My father only spoke Yiddish. His Polish was terrible, always that way. And, and at the beginning of their lives, I'm not sure how, after they met and they married, they communicated, which is a question that my own children have asked my mother. They said, Grandma, I don't understand. If Grandpa didn't speak Polish and you didn't speak Yiddish, how did you communicate? And she would say with her cigarette in her hand, saying, who told you that we communicate? We don't communicate. She had a great sense of humor. She had a great sense of humor. But they were married for 54 years. So I guess it stuck.
Yeah, for sure. So tell us about the organization. Is it a nonprofit? Who started it? And what is...
It's a nonprofit. Zygmunt Rolat and I started this nonprofit. It's got to be like almost 30 years ago. Zygmunt Rolat was a very big mentor and a resident of Częstochowa. As a matter of fact, his brother, who was killed during the war, and my mother were boyfriend and girlfriend, which made it very beautiful. But it grew tremendously because there were a lot of Częstochowers, because I told you 5,000 of them, and they all sort of knew each other in one form or another. So he was very connected with the Polish government always, still is. They just named a roundabout after him in Częstochowa. He's unfortunately not with us. We lost him 2 years ago. But he and I were the ones that named the World Society of Częstochowa Jews and their descendants. And it just kept growing. We had an exhibit that was going throughout the country. And everywhere we went, we met other people. And it just grew and grew and grew. And then the website grew. And the website still grows. It's www.częstochowajews.com. It still grows. And now we have all the second generations, the third generations who are interested in the story. So they post all kinds of things on that website. And it's a wonderful, big organization. And it's grown much to everyone's surprise, but it holds a special place in Poland and in the United States now.
Does Częstochowa still exist today? I haven't heard much about it as a city in Poland.
Oh, yeah. It's the third largest city in Poland. There were 40,000 Jews before the war.
I've been to Poland 3 times on organized trips, and they never brought me here.
Well, that's too bad because we have one of our friends who's an educator, with a lot of things, just took the March of the Living there.
Wow, that's
And I
amazing.
know that you're in touch with the March of the Living, and I have deals with the March of the Living too. I know some people there, and I've always wanted to do a lot of things with them, but somehow I know what's going on, and I know what's going on. But maybe after that, I know that you work with the March of the Living, don't
Yeah, they hired me this year as one of the official videographers for the march. So I wasn't with a set group. I kind of was somewhere different every day with all different types of groups. It was really special. And I went on the march as a participant in 2018. And I documented my entire journey for Fox 5, where I was working at the time. And interesting. Now, tell all our viewers who might not be familiar with the POLIN Museum. I mean, that's one of the most incredible museums, huge, dating back, what is it, 3,000 years of Jewish history? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Barbara Kirschenbach Gimlet, his personal friend, Zygmunt Rolat was one of the mentors. If it wasn't for Zygmunt, that POLIN Museum wouldn't happen. I mean, we traveled all over the world to get the funds for that. So I was involved, it's just, I miss him. I miss him a lot. I miss my parents. I miss him. Those people leave us one by one.
Yeah, but their legacies live on through you, through me, through all the work we do. I mean, you talking about them is, I mean, what more could they have ever wanted than for you to carry their legacies forward? So, where are you hoping to go from here? I mean, you have had so much involvement in the Holocaust world. What's next for you?
Well, there was Amy Fogg, who I know you're going to be interviewing, who is the most wonderful girl who I introduced to the Holocaust world many, many years ago. And it's a great story. And perhaps she'll tell you when you interview her. But she's one of the people in the world that I've helped. I've helped many, many people like that who have continued to go on. And that's what I do. I continue that. I continue that. And at the moment, Amy is just doing incredible things. I love her very much. And I'm very proud of the relationship that we built. She's just wonderful. But there are many people like that. So going on forward now, I've gotten involved with a musical that's going to hopefully on Broadway called Rutka the musical at the moment. That's the name now. It's a wonderful story about a girl named Rutka Laskier. She came from Benjin, Poland. She wrote a diary. Actually, she's born the same day as Anne Frank, believe it or not, same day, same year. And they were both diarists, of course. The difference being that Anne Frank was a hidden child and Rutka died in Auschwitz in 1943.
Well, so how was this notebook discovered and when? And how is it now being shared?
Now, I don't know, I would say about 4 or 5 years ago, it was discovered by Rutka's half sister, who lives in Israel. Her name is Zahava Sher, but it was hidden in a staircase. It was hidden in a staircase by Rutka's non-Jewish friend, because they knew when she left that she was never going to return, and this was a loose staircase. So they put the diary in, and years later, I think maybe 5 years, maybe the exact part, I don't know, but they they uncovered the diary. They uncovered the diary, and the diary was given to Zahava Sher, and then somehow it got into the hands of producers, Amy Schwartz and Dave, no, Amy Langer and David Schwartz, and then it became a work that is still going on now, and we are waiting for it to happen very shortly.
Oh, that's incredible. Well, you will have to tell me when, and I will share that.
Of course, it's amazing because it's a musical. It's rock music, believe it or not. Which people, it's like, well, how could that be? It's about the Holocaust. But she was so young. She was 16 also. She was so young, and all she had on her mind was the guy next door, the kid next door, and fighting with her mother. She was it's a wonderful story, and the music is wonderful. We were in Cincinnati, and we're going to be in other places, and eventually we will let you know, of course, because it's going to be great.
Amazing. She was just like any other girl. And to see a diary like that, is so important.
Amy is helping us to do that, and she sent it to classes in Utah. And Rutka is part of Amy's life now too. She knows about it because she's so close to me, and we're close to each other. And she wants it, and I think she also sent the diary to Belgium because she works in Belgium a lot. So she's the diary's available. If you want to read it, certainly we can figure out something.
Amazing. I actually also interviewed a woman who her sister was named Renia Spiegel, and her diary has now starting to garner a lot of worldwide attention. And they just opened an exhibit in Krakow, Poland, with her diary. So amazing that all these decades later, all this incredible work is starting to come out of the woodwork. So we could talk forever. You're doing amazing things. Before I ask you my closing question that I ask anyone, was there anything that you wanted to touch upon about the work that you do that I didn't ask you?
I think, it's hard to condense a person in 15 minutes, of course, but I continue to do what I said before, which is I think that it's important, especially as an educator now in New York City. I'm trying very hard, and I have a lot of contacts now. We're going to try to do diary writing for the children because the children today are victims of COVID, and they had trauma in their lives. And my granddaughter, who's going to be 17, I mean, she missed a lot of things in her life because of COVID. And I think that journal writing is very important for trauma. And so that's where I see myself later. I've already been invited to schools in New York City to do the journal writing, and I think that's a very important thing to do. So that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go back to roots. When I started teaching in 1968, I'm back to roots. So education is still very important, and interviews like you're doing are also very important. So let me thank you and your team for having me today, and I hope that what you're doing makes a difference, and I know that it does. And thank you again.
Thank you. You are as driven as ever. I am so impressed. Now, this is not Holocaust related. I asked one question to all my guests. Sorry to stump you, but is there one moment in your life, it could be multiple moments, that changed how you see the world?
When my parents died.
That's fair. And and did you go on this journey to discover more about them after they passed?
No, I did it while they were alive. I took my mother back to Częstochowa, which was unbelievable because she never wanted to go back. She never wanted to go back because she said that chapter of my life is done. But she went with my young son, who was 15 years old, and that was the most incredible trip because she was the educator to the town of the kids in Częstochowa who were not Jewish but were interested. So she sat there like the beautiful dowager that she was, and she was telling the stories and everything. So yeah, I think that's the stories have to keep on being told. Journal writing, whatever, speaking, letters, whatever. At the journey, it's just especially today, the stories have to go on, and that's when I think that's when I know that mortality. My parents were gone. This was a fear of mine my whole life.
Well, thank you, Lea. You are fascinating. We need more people like you to preserve these memories and to maintain relationships with the descendants of these cities where Jews were wiped out. We're grateful for your efforts. Keep us posted on Rutka's notebook. Can't wait to hear all about it. And you and I will stay in touch.
I'm interested in doing more in the March of Living because I wanted to do last year and I didn't get to it. I don't know, everybody got busy, but I wanted to put the diary in the backpacks.
Oh, that would have been
because if there's something that needs to be done to continue that with the kids writing their own diary, I don't know. I'm willing to discuss that with you because I have a couple of people who might be able to want to help us with that. If that's something that you want to be interested in, I'm happy to talk to you about that too.
Thank you again for taking the time to be here today. A very special thank you to Barry Margulies. He's our tech director who's volunteering his time to be behind the scenes here at HMTC. to do this. Thank you. And to our executive producer, Bernie Fershpan, who put this whole studio together. So grateful for the entire team effort to make this program run. Again, this is Dana Arschin Kraslow for the Dana Download. Thank you so much for joining us today.